My company has been around for 4 years. I started with my old man when I was a little kid.
It's usually the way it gets sort of passed down from father to son.
Yeah, pretty much.
You've got a bit of a following, Andre. I've noticed you've got 16,000 followers on Instagram.
Yep.
You've done a heap of work, both residential and commercial, for
Yep.
your portfolio. Your mission statement on your website is that you have your client's home looking as good as new, which is certainly what we want to see when people are renovating their home. And
Yep.
I must say, with renovations, I've done a number of my own renovations. Painting and getting colour schemes right, and different wall colours and feature walls, it can be one of the most stressful parts of a renovation. How do you guys take the stress out of some of those decisions?
Honestly, just by experience, man. Like, I'll walk into some place that's old and run down, and I'll just say, okay, in my head, I've got the colours. And the problem is these days, when you go to a client, they always want safe colours. It's always a cream or a white, and then you give them a suggestion, but they're too scared to actually go about with it. So what we'll do is we'll get the colour charts out, we'll get the sample pots, and we'll put some samples. And sometimes it even goes to the extent where we'll actually paint a whole wall just so they can see the colour properly. And after that, they just say, we'll leave it to you. You do whatever you want. And then we'll just go from there, pretty much.
When you finish someone's home, you've actually added the value. Are they happy with your creation 9 times out of 10, or is it their creation 9 times out of 10?
I think, honestly, it takes 2 to tango. Personally, I'll never take credit for everything. We like to work with the client and see what their needs are. And if we don't see eye to eye, we'll give them an idea or a suggestion. And if they want to go with it, more than happy to do it. And if they don't, we'll just do what they want. And at the end of the day, whether it's our decision or theirs, it's going to come out Mickey Mouse. At the end of the day, happy client is all that matters at the end of the day. You know, you could be the best tradesman in the world, but if you don't get along with the clientele or the builder on site or whoever it is, then you're in big trouble.
And do you find that a big part of your business is referrals?
Yeah, I reckon about 95% of business is just word of mouth.
And that is always the sign of a successful tradesperson. It's always about the referrals.
100%, man. Couldn't agree more.
Have you got any advice for people renovating their home to sell? 9 times out of 10, when people are renovating their home to actually sell it, I find... I personally, I've always stayed with the neutral colours, the whites, the greys. You know, they're the ones that I've tended to stay with, so that, you know, someone can come in, they can see a nice clean finish, but then they can make their own changes. You know, they can make it theirs with their own features and all that sort of stuff. What's your opinion on that? Do you think getting things sale ready is for the renovators out there? Is something more you want to do wow factors, or do you want to stay neutral?
Honestly, from my opinion personally and what I see and deal with all the time, simple is best. You don't want to go over the top of anything, but at the same time, you need to be able to spend money to make money. You can't always go for something cheap. In regards to painting, simple colours, the whites, the light ones, the neutrals, you can't go wrong, because number one, it makes the place look bigger, it makes the place look cleaner, and I mean, who doesn't like white? Everyone loves white. You see it every day. You see it on the cars. You see it everywhere. And when a person comes in to buy a house, the first thing they look at is it clean? What's it look like? You know, if you've got different colours and different features, left, right, and centre, this place needs a lot of work. It looks dirty. You know, it throws them off, and then it decreases the value straight away from the property too. So the client selling the house is already in trouble there, because once a person walks into a place and says, oh crap, I need to paint it, they're thinking about money, they're losing money.
know, you've done
Yeah.
gyms and commercial premises, retail outlets,
Yeah.
a lot of resi as well. What percentage do you think would be sort of renovations or getting places sale ready compared to just, you know, the stay-at-homers?
Honestly, whether it's to get it sale ready or back on the market to rent out, probably about 50 to 60% of our work will be something like that, because it's very high demanding at the moment too.
The renovation market is
Yeah.
a big market at the moment. How do people get in touch with you guys? What's the best way to get in touch with you guys?
Probably phone numbers are best, honestly, or email, because on social media it's very hard, man. Like, we'll upload a story or something and there'll be like a dozen of messages, and it's hard to get back to everyone at the same time.
And do you usually charge by the hour, by the day, by the room, by the square meterage?
Yeah, usually by meter, only because in the trade industry, if you tell someone that you're charging by hour or by day, they try to take advantage of you in a way where you can get to a job where you only got to paint one ceiling, and then because you're there for an hourly rate, they make you paint the whole house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially when you've got a crew working for you, it's very hard to quote accordingly. So we get the meter rate. We usually work it all out, and then we know how much paint we need, how long the labour is going to take, and everything's there. So you back yourself up to.
In regard to your contracts, what sort of contracts do you guys use? Is it just like a one pager? Is it a handshake? How do you guys like to sort of quote and contract?
So when we do a quote, we send them a quote which is on a paper, and at the bottom we'll have our signature, and then we've got a terms and conditions page, which is actually 5 pages. So it covers literally everything you can think of: weather, timing, payments, insurance, warranties. Everything that the client needs to know is on those papers, and we will not start a job until those papers are signed and returned back to us.
Okay, great. Okay, client doesn't need to get legal advice on it or anything like that.
No, it's pretty straightforward.
Now,
Only from experiences, man. It depends. We're in an industry where you do a job for someone, and then chasing up money is probably the worst part about the job, you know? So regardless, coming from a painting business or a business in any trade, you've always got to make sure you got yourself backed up.
yeah. What are your payment terms?
So usually we'll get a 20% deposit before we start, as long as the job's not over $20,000. If it is, we'll ask for 50%, and then we'll get progress payments. If not, we'll get a full payment after completion. You want me to give you a look at the shop we're currently at?
Mate, I'd love you to, please.
All right, so I don't know if you've heard about the famous Danielle's artwork on Instagram too. She's famous. She's just done this drawing on this wall.
Wow.
Show you her name, that way you can follow her. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, Danielle's artwork. So she done this wall in this Greek restaurant that was supposed to open up before the corona. And we've done all the blue in a semi-gloss enamel. That way it's easy to clean, and all the white. So this place was a full reno as well, all gutted out.
I love it.
And now we're finishing off the bar. We've done some Venetian plaster. So this one's a Muro look on the bar. It's going to have an epoxy on top. And down here, we've done a bamboo effect. Just the little simple things that go a long way.
Is it a fish shop or something, or?
Yeah, it's the shop's called Two Fat Greeks. It's going to be a Greek restaurant. So
and
that's why.
Whereabouts is it?
It's on Napier Street in Essendon.
I'll have to come and check it out when it's done. When are you guys finished?
I think we'll be done by the weekend. Probably Saturday.
And they'll be open. They won't be open next week, though, obviously.
Nah, I reckon once all this chaos is over, they'll do a proper grand opening. It's funny, you just don't know where the world's going to take you.
Man, it looks amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
Great.
I'll be sure to invite you to the grand opening once this place opens.
Thank you, brother. I'll be there with bells on.
Sounds good.
Andre, thank you very much for your time today, man. We'll pop this up on Renovate Australia. We're soon to be called Flipro because we're rebranding.
Yep.
But, we'll be sending you guys some work and we'll be staying in touch.
Too easy, man. Pleasure.
Thank you, Andre. Cheers, brother.
Enjoy that. Bye.